first time I started at this church, it seemed like the enemies hit me. He did not want me here. And there is such an awesome prayer ministry, prayer everywhere here. And so the first while I kept them busy on their knees praying for me. But God has been so good to me. And at the end of this testimony, I want to tell you all the things God's done for me this year, all the blessings that I received this year. It started out bad. It really did. I was diagnosed 25 years ago with melanoma. When you think about melanoma, it don't seem like that's too bad. But if it's advanced, it's bad. It can kill you. And so I have had 11 surgeries. My family can vouch for that. My daughter and my husband was with me in every one of those surgeries. And so we just kept trusting God and kept checking every so often, have to go back in another surgery. And so the last one then, just before my husband got sick, the doctor called us in and he said, this is serious. He said, it has gone inside you and we will have to take your bladder. And I looked at my husband and we walked outside and I said, this is my last time here. I'm not coming back. And so we were going to a prayer meeting at that time. And this man that was conducting the meeting, he had cancer of his lungs. And he had been healed. And he gave me this book by Charles Capps. And he said, take this just like medicine, night and morning, these scriptures, pray over it. And so I did, and so shortly after that, I started feeling pretty good, and then my husband got sick. And so he got real sick, and so I went through that, he passed, and after he passed, 10 days, my mother passed. And so I was like not hardly even thinking about how I felt through all that, but was believing that. And God took me through it. He helped me to be able to take care of them and be there with him when I was needed. And so it was all God that did all this, and we got through it. And then it was probably maybe 6 months, Lisa, my son got real sick. And all of you that come here to this church know about that situation. He was in a coma for 40 days. But God healed him. God brought him through it. And through all that, like I said, we prayed and we prayed and we stood and we had faith and through all this, I didn't want to forget to say that Mark and Kathy, how we got involved and how our family got entangled through all of this is amazing. It's a story in itself because God has done so many things. Mark knows my whole family. I think he's prayed over all of them. And so God has just been doing miracles with all this. But after probably, I don't know, maybe a month after I'd gone through that with Jack, like Mark said a while ago, how the enemy will try to put things back on you, and he does. And so he did that with me. He tried to say, well, it's bad again, you better get back to the doctor and do all that. And I said, no, I'm standing. And Mark and Kathy and Philip all prayed for me twice. And I just kept believing, and I got my little book out again and reading scriptures and even taking communion every morning. And it seemed like I had gotten better, but it just wasn't going away, all the symptoms that I had. And so one day I just said, God, what is it? What is wrong? I'm doing everything I know to do, and it just feels like it's not going away completely. And I heard this little whisper, let go and let me. I feel like I was trying to do it in myself. And I just started saying, every time it would come to my mind, I'd say, God, you've got this.
Yes.
You've got
Amen.
this. It's all in your hands and you've got this. And when I started doing that, little by little, those symptoms started leaving.
Amen.
They were gone. And so I'm just thankful tonight. I'm healthy. I have an awesome family. Oh, I did not want to end without saying what all God's done in my family. A lot of you know.
We got all night.
A lot of you know. It's been awesome. It's been awesome.
It's been hard, but
You know,
awesome.
some
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But God knew He's been with me all the time. But some of you have heard Tiara's testimony. That right there, that right there is a miracle. If you haven't heard it, you need to hear it.
It's at healingwindows.com.
Yeah. And it just tells you what God can do if we
right.
let Him. And then, how many of you here tonight stood with me with Jack? Yes, yes, yes. And it just amazes me to think that God would do that miracle for us. You know? I mean, God's a good God, a big God, and He'll do anything, but that was serious.